I guess to see how it was new for us to do this album, you have to understand how we did the first one. And I have to preface that by saying we started as a 4-piece. Originally, there were 2 guitars, vocals, the bass, and the drums. And that was kind of the format we were going for. And so we kind of filled in the blanks. I played guitar and sang, and Jesse played the guitar, as he does now, and then we had a bassist and a drummer. So that worked out really well for a while. But actually, by the time we got to recording the first one, we didn't have a bassist. So it was just a 3-piece, but we had every intention of refilling that slot. So when we recorded the first album, I did the bass and the guitar, just kind of to fill everything out. We were worried maybe it wasn't going to fill out right. Just one guitar, I don't know. But by the time we got around to this one, we had been a 3-piece that entire time, really. We had been a 3-piece long enough by the time we got to getting ready to record this one and writing for it that we just decided, we were just going to do it like that. But maybe 2 months before the recording time was scheduled, we parted ways with our drummer, and so that was kind of a blow to the whole recording situation. But we had it booked, we weren't going to cancel it, so we started putting the word out for a drummer, like just a session drummer. Luckily, the guy that recorded us had a friend who played drums in a band, but he liked to do session work also. We met up with him maybe 2 weeks before we were supposed to record. We had sent him some stuff that we had recorded, just the bass and the guitar. But other than that, he had he didn't have anything to go on. Like, he was just working off of that, which, made us really skeptical. But by the time we got down there, and we practiced one time before it was time to record, and maybe 2 times. But by the time we got into record, he had parts that they just slammed. They're perfect like that. We were floored when we went in there to record the drums that day. But I mean, they ended up making the album, I think. But it was a really cool process writing like that without drums. And I think that's part of the reason that it came across the way that it did. Like, really sporadic, I think. The whole set of songs together is really sporadic, and I think it's because we didn't have drums to set into the parts when we wrote them.
Close your eyes, grit your teeth, yeah, we're doing some real damage now. Bring me something to swing, we can still hammer all of this out. And we'll tear it apart if you find that you have any doubt.
I've been contemplating a lot recently the whole writing process. I think it's weird. I think it's especially weird because everybody has their own. And I was kind of trying to figure mine out. And I'm kind of finding that it's a lot more sarcastic than I originally thought. Like, we got these tracks down and I got to hear them back, like with the lyrics and everything. I'm listening to those lyrics going, I didn't feel so sarcastic when I wrote it, but now hearing it, I feel like they sound super dry and they just come across being super sarcastic. I don't know, that's the best word I can come up with for it, but it felt really tricky, the way some of it was. I feel like our music is a lot of us getting out frustration, and I feel like that's kind of counter to what other bands are doing, like at least popular bands. Like, I feel like people are frustrated a lot of the time and then they listen to music to kind of escape that, but I feel like we are less frustrated a lot of the time and we use music to get it out, and that's why we're not as frustrated. So I wonder if people, I know this sounds so out there and so ridiculous, but I wonder if people listen to music that was more getting out their frustrations instead of trying to pretend like they're having a good time. I wonder if they would genuinely have a good time more often. Like, if they would just genuinely feel better. If they used music to express genuine emotion and frustration and, whatever. Rather than just listening to something that made them feel good for 4 minutes.
Famine, the feast, the least we can do to survive.